Welcome back to Aurora Tech Channel. Today, I will review the Creality Sermoon V1 Pro. This is a mini fully enclosed printer with a build volume of 175 by 175 by 165, which is a little smaller than the Prusa Mini. This is the smallest printer I have reviewed so far in terms of print volume. As for the motion system, it's a bit different from most printers from Creality, as it uses linear rods instead of rubber wheels, but it does use the same Creality Sprite extruder as the Ender 3 S1 series and the CR10 Smart Pro. The print bed is only supported on one side, similar to the Ender 5 Pro. It has most features you would expect from a new generation 3D printer, like a 32-bit board, silent stepper drivers, a filament sensor, and a 4.3-inch touchscreen. Surprisingly, it does not come with auto bed leveling, and there are still leveling springs under the bed, but you don't have to use them to adjust things at all, as it uses setting the Z offset at multiple points as its leveling system. The Sermoon V1 has two versions, the V1 and the V1 Pro. The main differences I can see are that the V1 Pro has an internal camera and door sensor, which will stop the machine when the door is open, and the V1 does not. But besides that, they are pretty much identical. The MSRP of this Sermoon V1 Pro printer is $539, but it's currently on sale for $458. The MSRP for the V1 without the camera and door sensor is $399 and is currently on sale for $329, which looks pretty good. I would like to thank Creality for sending this machine to me for review, and with that, let's get started. This machine arrives fully assembled, so all you have to do is remove the protective plastic, the foam, and the zip ties. Then, as I am in the US, I will flip the voltage to 115, then plug in the power cord and turn on the machine. First, go to Print Setup and click Auto Leveling. However, this isn't actual auto bed leveling and just means that we are going to adjust the Z offset for 5 different points on the bed and save the distance each time. Now, I will insert my PLA filament until I see some coming out of the nozzle, and then insert the SD card. Go to Print File, and I will start the first test print of a 3D Benchy. I noticed that the first layer was printed a bit low, but when I tried to go to setup and adjust the baby steps while the print was in progress, there was no option that lets you do this. At this point, I could either let it finish printing anyways, or pause the print to re-level the bed, but I decided to just let the print finish. The result is okay. The layers look good, and are obviously better than those printed by a bed slinger, there are no cooling issues, and there is just a little bit of stringing. Now, let's set up this printer in Creality Print. While it's just my personal opinion that the Creality slicer is not as convenient as Cura or the Prusa slicer, it does have advantages, such as the printer profiles of all Creality printers are available and it can connect to Creality Cloud. So, click Add to add a printer. I will import our next print, a XYZ calibration cube, change the adhesion to a skirt as the XYZ cube doesn't need a raft, and slice the model. You can upload it to Creality Cloud or upload it to the printer, and as I just want to directly print my models, I can choose to directly access my local network printer by clicking Send G-code. I can start the print from here and monitor it remotely using the camera. I can't find any issues with this cube. The text is clear, the surfaces are very smooth, and the dimensions are accurate as well. Next, using Eryone triple color silk PLA, I will print a model of an Oscar trophy. The first layer is once again too low, which may be because when you remove a magnetic print surface, you tend to push down the back of the bed a bit, resulting in the Z offset becoming inaccurate. However, as it isn't super severe, I will just let the print finish. This print turned out pretty cool, and apart from the first layer not being too smooth, there weren't any problems. Then, I'm going to print a base for the trophy with Eryone black PLA. And this simple model looks just fine. I superglued the trophy and the base together, and it now looks more like an actual Oscar. Then, I will try to print a model of a Jeep using Voxel PLA Pro filament. The first layer is still printed too low. If the screen menu supports Z offset adjustment, this can easily be fixed. The result is not bad, with some stringing that is easy to clean up. The top looks good, and the details of the car door and handle are clear, but the bottom is squeezed too much, and all of the details were flattened. As a whole, it's not too bad. After that, let's print a robot hand with Overture ABS. As this is a fully enclosed printer, it's more efficient at maintaining the ambient temperature, which is better for printing ABS. But on the other hand, the maximum bed temperature only reaches up to 80 degrees Celsius, so let's see how it handles this ABS model with a larger footprint. This print turned out looking very cool. There's no warping, and though the thumb has some imperfections in its layers, the rest was printed well, and it still functions perfectly fine. As the print volume of this printer is a bit small, I will try to maximize the Z height by printing a trash can using Eryone $12 PETG. Here is the result, and this was printed great overall. From bottom to top, the layers look good as the bed does not swing back and forth. Oddly enough, there are a few blobs here and there in this area, but nowhere else, and I'm not sure where they came from or why they happen to be in those specific areas. The inside of the print looks great, and the first layer was printed quite well this time. However, I may have moved the bed when I was removing the trash can, so when I tried to print these 4 TPU discs, the back of the bed ended up being too close to the nozzle. So, I had to relevel the bed and start the print again. This time there were no issues apart from some stringing. Normally, when we print with TPU, we try to print one model at a time to minimize the print head's travel distance, but I think the Sprite extruder did a great job and usually does, so I tested printing 4 of these discs at once, and the stringing is not bad at all. As you can see, after releveling the bed, the bottom of all 4 discs look fantastic. Then, using Eryone wood-filled PLA, let's print a model of Groot. Wood-filled PLA is generally difficult for printers to print with, but this extruder only needs a 0.8mm retraction distance and should be fine. The result is amazing, particularly how the head was printed. The body has the tiniest bit of stringing, but you can just brush it away with your hand. The details of the print look great at the front as well as the back. Earlier, I printed with Creality's navy blue PLA. When I visited the website, it claimed that the support that it prints is very easily removable. So for my last print, I will print this dragon model with Creality's filament. Slice it in the Prusa slicer, and instead of having it automatically generate support, I will manually paint the support at the mouth, chin, and tail. This kind of support would normally be near impossible to remove without damaging the print, but let's see what happens with this filament. Here is the result. The support at the tail is extremely easy to remove, as it came right off when I first removed the dragon from the print surface. The same cannot be said for the mouth and the chin. It was doable, but it was not easy, as removing the support for the chin and the mouth took around 20 minutes. It is now a bit easier to remove the support than when using regular PLA filament. The dragon still looks awesome, and I did not ruin the print at all when removing the support. Let's discuss the pros and cons of this printer, starting with the pros. 1. No assembly is needed. All you need is to take the printer out of the box and remove all of the protective materials. 2. It prints well right out of the box with PLA, PETG, ABS, TPU, and it even printed well with some difficult to print wood-filled PLA. 3. Setting up Wi-Fi is easy. Just open the app and scan the QR code of the printer, and the app will tell you what to do from there. The whole process is smooth and simple. 4. The layers are printed much better compared to those by a bed slinger. 5. The Sprite extruder works on this printer just as well as the Ender 3S1 and S1 Plus. 6. The fully enclosed chamber helps keep a stable ambient temperature, which could prevent warping. The bed also sticks pretty well, even on large ABS, but sometimes sticks too well if your nozzle is too close to the bed. 7. Cloud printing runs pretty smoothly, but there are still some bugs, particularly with the camera. I will elaborate in the cons section. 8. The printer is quiet, and with the enclosure, it's even quieter than other printers with the same silent stepper drivers. 9. There are 2 fans on the right side of the enclosure. When it prints PLA, they are on so the hot air can be exhausted. When it prints ABS, they are off so the heat can stay inside. This is better than some enclosed printers that need you to remove the top when printing with PLA. 10. The sensor will be triggered and stop the printer if the door is open during printing, but if you don't like this feature, you can disable it using the screen menu. Now for the cons. 1. The print volume is 175 by 175 by 165. This may sound a bit too small for some, but for me, it fits 70 to 80% of the parts I normally print. However, you may still prefer a larger print volume, especially for a printer with this footprint. 2. There is no auto bed leveling sensor, and as the magnets on the bed are pretty strong, when you remove the magnetic print surface, you may move the heated bed slightly and accidentally make one side a bit lower or higher. Normally, this could be compensated for with auto bed leveling before the print starts, but without an auto bed leveling sensor, you have to re-level the bed instead. 3. There is no Z offset adjustment option on the screen menu. Generally, if the first layer is not perfect, you can easily fix it by adjusting the Z offset on the screen, but for this printer, your options are to leave it and let it finish the print and see what happens, or stop the print and re-level the bed. Removing the Z offset adjustment from the screen menu is a pretty bad idea. 4. Even though it's a Pro version, it does not come with many upgrades and new features compared to the Sermoon V1. It doesn't come with a Sprite Pro extruder with an all-metal hot end that would allow you to print at 300 degrees Celsius for engineering-grade materials like nylon carbon fiber and polycarbonate. Just adding a camera and a door sensor may not be good enough to be a Pro version, which costs $130 more. 5. It uses a single Z-axis to support the print bed. Even if the bed is tiny, when I press on one side or remove the magnetic print surface, it still moves. 6. The Creality Cloud and Creality Print have improved since my last review of the CR10 Smart Pro 2 months ago, though there are still some bugs. In terms of printing, it works fine most of the time, but the camera is not stable. Moreover, the Cloud phone app is flooded with too many unwanted things. For users like me, all I need is to print and monitor them. I would suggest that Creality ensure these main features work flawlessly before adding other features. In conclusion, this is a fully enclosed printer that can print smaller parts with very good print quality when the bed is leveled correctly. If the small 175 by 175 by 165 print volume is good enough for you, and you also don't need to print engineering-grade materials like PACF and PC that would require a 300 degrees Celsius nozzle, it's still a pretty good printer. However, I think the Sermoon V1 may actually be the better deal, as it is $130 cheaper and it's only missing a door sensor and the built-in camera on the V1 Pro. These two upgrades honestly aren't worth that much to me. As for now, the Sermoon V1 and V1 Pro are both on sale. You can get the V1 for $329 and the V1 Pro for $458, so the V1 still looks like a much better deal. If you are interested in either of them, I put both links under the description. That's it for this video. If you liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe button and click the notification bell to receive new video updates. I will see you next time.